Thank you for joining us again and welcome back to The Explorer. In this video, we shall be looking at the reason why African leaders have started speaking out. In this video, you would examine the reason why the South African president Cyril Ramaphosa got frustrated as a result of a phone call that he received in the middle of a pandemic, where African countries were trying to figure out how to deal with a pandemic that they know little things about. You will realize that what happened in Paris was not a new phenomenon. It's been going behind the scene for several years in terms of Africa's interaction, in terms of financial arrangement, also talking about collaboration in several areas. Africa has been looked down upon as a continent of disease and poverty. The outburst in Paris was not a mistake. It was pre-planned, and that is one of the reasons why these leaders have been dealing with foreign governments, especially in Europe and the United States, in several ways. They have been looked down upon, but they are beginning to speak out, which is a good thing in terms of their own sovereignty, and to let Western governments know that there should be comparity in several ways. Let's listen to what happened with regards to Cyril Ramaphosa expressing his frustration as a result of a phone call he received from Europe in the middle of pandemic. So now watch the video to the end and leave your comment to let you know why Paris was not a mistake. I would like to know what you think with regards to this paternalistic approach with regards to foreign governments interacting with African heads of state. I want to thank you for watching. We will join you on the other side of this video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
I also got some calls from Europe. And the calls were so paternalistic. They were saying, "Hello, President Ramaphosa. We've heard about this Omicron. I am sorry to tell you that we are banning travel to Europe from South Africa and Southern Africa." No discussion, no attempt to hear what our views are. And I'm saying that the relationship needs to be mutually respectful. We need to respect one another. The African presidents respected me as we respect one another. But from Europe, I just got a message of saying, "We've banned travel, thank you, goodbye, see you next time." That's not the way to conduct relationship. So there needs to be consensus, there needs to be discussion. And I want to talk about the issue of access to vaccines. We have made a proposal which is supported by more than 100 countries. And what we have said is, we want, and this comes back to what the youth were saying as well. They want to know whether they have a continent which will help to develop their skills, where they can thrive. But what do we want? We want to be able to make our own vaccines. And we will deal with the issue of reluctance for our Africans to take vaccines. But we want to make vaccines. We don't just want to fill and finish and package, which is what we are being offered. That we want you to build capacity to fill, finish, and package, and we will send you the drug substance. And we say, no, we want you to relax the intellectual property rights for a while, so that we can make the drug substance, because we have the capability. And there are quite a number of countries on the continent that can. And right now, we've got countries like Egypt, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Rwanda, South Africa, and Kenya. Easily, they have the capability, the manufacturing capability, and we are saying we want to be able, we want to go beyond just getting the substance from Europe or wherever, filling and distributing. We want to make the drug substance, because that is where the intellectual property resides. And that is where we want our young people, who are epidemiologists, who are scientists, to see that there is a future for them. Then they will not go to Europe, they will not go to America, they will stay here, because they will know that they can work effectively and display all the skills we have. Now, what does the world, the northern part of the world do? They say, no, we know what is good for you. We just want you to do fill and finish. and that's it. And we say, no, we no longer want that. You did that long ago when you colonized us. And when you raped and pillaged our countries, we're saying no now. We have the capability and we want to make all these things ourselves. Now for me, that is smart partnerships. We want to deal with Europe. We want to deal with the northern part of America and so forth on a respectful basis. We as Africans are respectful and have always been. And maybe that's where our mistake is. That's why we were colonized in the way that we were colonized, because we respect too much. And we say, respect us as well. Now, coming to the question you raised, there are quite a number of issues that we have to embark upon for our recovery. Obviously, we have to improve our health systems. And I reject the notion that no, you can't really have the vaccines because you don't have good health systems. It is the COVID-19 that is enabling us, that is giving us the wherewithal to move forward, to improve our health systems. So it cannot be conditional. We will improve our health systems as we are dealing with COVID, because every crisis in the end does yield its own benefits. And they say, right now, it's a crisis, and we are coming up with various methods of improving our health systems. The second one, obviously, is economic recovery, the integration of our continent, precisely what we are working on. And the other one, of course, is the whole process of industrializing and building a manufacturing base. And this is where the North looks down on us. They say, no, you don't have the wherewithal and all that. And we say, we are building it. And the other one is infrastructure. The infrastructure build that you are seeing here in Senegal is phenomenal. This is a country on the move. And Africa is on the move. We are improving ourselves. So we want the world to recognize us, to recognize that. And the other issue is access to finance. You know, another injustice that happens is this. The northern part of the world, the rich countries, have been able to borrow trillions of dollars to deal with this pandemic. But they are borrowing at almost zero interest rates. When we borrow at high interest rates. In my own country, for instance, we've got a growing deficit because most of our revenue goes towards paying debt. And we are saying we want to borrow on really preferential, including at zero interest rates, so that when we get funding, we're able to use it for developmental needs. But there have been times when we felt like we were beggars. I played a key role as chair of the African Union during the COVID period. We felt like we were beggars when it came to vaccine availability, when we felt we needed access to vaccines, and the Northern Hemisphere countries had bought all the vaccines in the world, and they were hogging them. And they didn't want to release them at the time when we needed them most. And we felt like we were begging. And at times it felt like they would just be droppings from the table, that yes, we will give you that and that. And let me tell you something that generated a lot of resentment. We resented that, and it got worse when we said we want to manufacture our own vaccines. And when we went to the WTO, there was a lot of resistance, enormous resistance. And we kept saying, what is more important, life or profits by your big pharmaceutical companies? And that too, I must tell you now, generated and deepened that disappointment and resentment on our part, because we felt like life in the Northern Hemisphere is much more important than life in the Global South. And these are issues that need to be addressed. And I'm glad that we are all seated here like this, because we've got to get to the heart of these matters and address them. Now, I come to promises that have been made. And Chancellor Scholz was saying, we've got to walk the talk. Yes, we want to see the talk being walked. President Sassou Nguesso yesterday said at the dinner, $100 billion was promised per year. And he was saying, I've never seen that. And many of us will testify that that $100 billion has never really been made available. And this should stand out as something that needs to be addressed. Because sometimes we sit at conferences like this and say, yes, we'll make this available, and we believe you. We believe you, but now the tire must hit the tar.
Hopefully you enjoyed the video and now you understand the reason why Paris was not a mistake. And this has been going on for several years, and that kickback and the pushback was necessary at the time to have a level playing field. We want to thank you. If you are new to our channel, we encourage you to watch some of our informative video about the African continent. We are looking forward to meeting you in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.